Hi, and welcome to the Diamond Report for Wednesday, July 5th, 2017. This is your host, Doug Diamond. It is currently 11:54 p.m. And I guess this is the second edition for the day. I did a Diamond Report this morning at about 8 o'clock and went over a whole lot of headlines and a little bit in the earthquake update. And I checked the earthquake software, Earthquake 3D, a few minutes ago, and nothing much was different from this morning, so we're just going to skip that for tonight. We'll get back to it tomorrow night, hopefully. And I thought I'd bring your attention to LostArtsRadio.com. This is the radio show that I'm engineer and producer of. Our next guest on our Sunday night show, we have two shows, Saturday night and Sunday night. Sunday night is the show with the guests, and we have a special guest, Dara Berger, author of How to Prevent Autism. And if you're interested in the subject of vaccination and how it's connected to autism and also the film Vaxxed, definitely tune in for this show. It'll be a really good one. Again, with Dara Berger, daraberger.com, B-E-R-G-E-R. And this is her book here, How to Prevent Autism. You can go to LostArtsRadio.com and read more about it. U.S. factory orders tumble most since November. Quote, "We're going to need more war." That's on Zero Hedge. Brussels forced to spend millions more on tackling migrant crisis to quell Italian fury. Recession warning, the shock graph that proves a huge stock market crash is coming. So much for China working with us. Trump slams China on North Korea trade. That's on Zero Hedge. We're ready for war. U.S. threat to North Korea as Kim Jong-un preps more missiles. That's on the Daily Star. Yeah, well, they might be ready for war, but the rest of us aren't. A defiant Kim Jong-un taunts the U.S. after his first successful test of an ICBM capable of hitting Alaska, as America and South Korea respond with their own ballistic missile drill. Auto sales tank again in June. It's worse than the headlines report. North Korea now has capacity to target the heart of the U.S. Pacific Command. Female cop assassinated in New York City. Officer is shot dead in her command trailer during an ambush by cop-hating gunmen in the Bronx. Sounds to me like they're trying to start a civil war, if you ask me. Vatican police break up gay orgy at the home of secretary of one of Pope Francis's key advisors. These people at the Vatican are just absolutely a bunch of rotten, horrific trash. They're just human trash. Riot police use water cannons and tear gas to disperse G20 protesters. Cops and CPS caught torturing toddler with forced catheterization to look for drugs. ACLU files suit. Apple set to destroy reality and ensnare tech hipsters into augmented worlds that disconnect people from reality. That's on Natural News. If you ask me, that's the whole goal of virtual reality and also our cell phones, to disconnect us from reality. Florida school dumps Common Core, then skyrockets to #1 in English language arts with 90% scoring proficient. That's on Natural News. From Zero Hedge, defining Trump's 4 bad options for dealing with North Korea. Austria deploys troops to Italy to stop uncontrolled immigration. Sweden, 92% of rapists have foreign backgrounds. I would think that it would be higher than that. A British judge says the Grenfell Tower fire caused by ISIS bomb and a media blackout. From SHTFplan.com, are you a domestic terrorist? That depends on who's in power. Frank Gaffney says North Korea could take out the entire U.S. electrical power grid. That's on Breitbart. Secret Service questions Kathy Griffin for over an hour as it probes provocative photo stunt showing her holding Trump's decapitated head. In Berniegate, another mysteriously missing server. That's on Freedom Outpost. Italy's furious response forces Austria to backpedal after Vienna sends tanks to the border. Emmanuel Bonaparte. Macron declares he will govern like a Roman god. That's on Breitbart. And from Natural News, the global economy is grinding to a halt as Sears Canada is forced to close 60 stores and lay off thousands of workers. And I guess it just depends on who you listen to. Trump tweets the media will be forced to cover the strong economy. Media takes it as a threat. Well, I don't think we have a strong economy personally. President Obama may be breaking the Logan Act by conniving with foreign governments behind President Trump's back. It's on the Gateway Pundit. Yeah, but that won't stop him. He's still going to do it. Palestinian cleric in Jerusalem leads Muslims in prayer. Allah enable us to slaughter the Americans and Europeans. That's on the Gateway Pundit. New York Police Department cop killer Alexander Bonds was Hillary supporter who previously assaulted officer with brass knuckles. Israel warns no ceasefire until Assad is removed from power. Ukraine is behind the global cyber attack that knocked out nuclear power plant. The brink of war, the horror of the deep state's plan exposed, part 1. Gaynor says CNN has become a blackmail organization. This is what the mob does. That's on Breitbart. Yeah, that's also what the Clintons do, too. Deadliest July 4th weekend in Chicago in years. Over 100 shot despite the extra police. That's on RT. Green list or red list? Amazon and the CIA are targeting you. That's on The Common Sense Show with Dave Hodges. I know for a fact I'm on the red list. There's just no getting around it. There's also a blue list, and the blue list are the police and the military people of uniform, and they will be supposedly supporting those in charge at the top of the pyramid, the military-industrial complex for the most part. But the blue people are also, the blue listers are also a major threat to those in power because they could turn on them and start fighting for the people on the red list. It's very possible. So which list are you on? Are you on the red list, the blue list, or the green list? If you're on the green list, that means you're no threat. And if you are any sort of threat, they can put you in a camp and re-educate you. Re-educate means brainwash. Documents expose how Hollywood promotes war on behalf of the Pentagon, the CIA, and the NSA. The DNC voter fraud witnesses keep getting murdered. It's funny, it's kind of like how all the people around the Clintons just disappear and kill themselves. Russia and China rule out military action in North Korea. U.S. responds, will go its own path if needed. That's on Zero Hedge. General warns U.S. is prepared for war in North Korea. Self-restraint is a choice. They are definitely gearing us up, folks, for war with North Korea. Whether or not North Korea deserves any sort of an attack or not is irrelevant. The point is they can create a false flag and attack them for anything that they want to, anytime that they want to. And speaking of which, a North Korean EMP attack, the dark possibility. That's on Zero Hedge. What's to stop people in our own government from performing an EMP attack on our own country and blaming the North Koreans? I mean, that's right out of the playbook. I mean, that's military industrial complex 101. And on Return of Kings, 10 racist, sexist countries ignored by the left. No outrage from the social justice warriors. Trump offers to help UK parents ordered by the court to let their infant die. Monster black holes spotted orbiting each other for the first time. Much remains uncertain. That's on space.com. I don't believe any of that. Black holes are only theoretical. No one has ever seen one. If they say they have, they're lying. Top expert says Trump behind the takedown of the global pedophile network. Rand Paul says Republicans have insufficient confidence in what made America great. That's capitalism, freedom of choice, and competition, Paul said. 60% believe Islam is incompatible with French society. Shocking survey lays bare the failure of multiculturalism in France. Well, what's wrong with the other 40%? They clearly have no idea what Islam's even about. Trump responds to North Korea's rocket launch, quote, "Does Kim have anything better to do with his life?" Trump tweeted his reaction to the latest provocation. "No, I don't think Kim does have anything better to do with his life." And that's, of course, going on what we're told through the media, which who knows if any of that can be trusted. Japan scheduling more evacuation drills as North Korean missile threat heightens. CNN says Trump wrestling meme may be racist. Well, they say everything's racist. Drudge poll reveals 77% of respondents love Trump's tweets. Trump bypassing mainstream media to reach the public directly. Yeah, well, how long until Twitter turns off Trump's account? What can't you take to Arlington National Cemetery on July 4th? An American flag. Florida city to rename streets honoring Confederate generals. Under pressure, Hollywood, Florida, to rename streets honoring Confederate generals. While the social justice warriors will be out in force against Hollywood, Florida. And on RT, a discovery made in China. 5,000-year-old giant humans discovered by archaeologists. If you go to the article and look at the pictures, the giants that they're talking about don't look that big, 5'11" to 6 foot something, which of course would be normal size these days. But I think the pictures are downplayed. I'm not really sure that that is exactly the size of skeletons that we're seeing there. They seem bigger than that, but could be me. NASDAQ stops trades after Amazon crashes 87% after hours. And then cyber attack practice, question mark, that's on Zero Hedge. Putin and Trump to hold first full-fledged meeting on July 7th. It's according to the Kremlin. Trump and Putin to meet for the first time ever. It's on RT. Dow hits all-time high. Dow, S&P advance, but tech's way on NASDAQ. That's on from Reuters. Does anybody really believe that any of this is real and true? I mean, the market is completely fake. Emergency. U.S., Russia, and China prepare neutron bombs for possible North Korea strike. Well, you know it's bad when Bill Gates is talking about it. Gates warns Angela Merkel's open-door migrant policy has left Europe at the breaking point. Calls on leaders to stem the flow from Africa. Gates must have been having a senior moment or something. He wouldn't ordinarily do that. Anti-cop Hillary supporter assassinates mother of 3 in unprovoked attack. Authorities looking at whether political views played a role in the murder of a NYPD officer. Well, I would think of course it does. And he was trying to start a race war and a civil war between the people and the police. Emergency. Snapchat gives entire internet real-time location of your child. Young Americans are being indoctrinated into a surveillance state. Yeah, I don't like Snapchat at all. Not at all. Destructive and evil. Democrats brag that Obamacare was designed to destroy American healthcare, and that it has. And again, there's no health in the American healthcare system anyway, as long as Big Pharma is involved. Baby Charlie Gard, the face of single-payer death panels. In government we trust. No. Yet, spy agencies' most trusted institution? Americans are putting their trust in proven liars. That's from David Knight of InfoWars. Globalist magazine claims Trump won't stop the decline of white Christian America. The sun is slowly setting on values of white Christian America, globalists claim. And that has been one of their big goals. NPR accused of bias for tweeting out full Declaration of Independence. It's on the Hill. France to make vaccination mandatory from 2018, as it is unacceptable children are still dying of measles. I don't believe children are dying of measles, I'm sorry. But the vaccines will surely kill a lot of kids and maim and injure a lot of kids. Be a lot more cases of autism from these ridiculous vaccines they give these kids. Huckabee says Secret Service agents are in detox after questioning Kathy Griffin. Must have really been bad. Astonishing rise in demand for exorcisms. Astonishing rise in harmful Christian exorcisms is being partly driven by migrant communities. Judge rules that Facebook tracking users does not invade privacy. Facebook was tracking their users' browsing habits and building detailed reports. That's on Breitbart. ICBM launched by North Korea, the closest the world has been to nuclear war. A poll, 65% of Trump supporters back military strike on North Korea. And I would guess that all 65% listen to the mainstream media for the most part. Number of food stamp recipients drop after states establish work requirements. That's on the Daily Caller. DNA evidence provides proof Egypt was founded by Central Europeans. New study shows Egyptian mummies have European DNA. I would also add that the pharaohs have hybrid DNA. Obamacare program awarded hospitals thousands in bonuses even if they had low-quality scores. That's on the Free Beacon. Okay, that's it for today's Diamond Report. Thanks for listening and watching, and I will talk to you tomorrow.